time and put his PhD to good use. That's it for another video here. Perhaps he could teach thugonomics at a local university, or like Tom Brady getting that one last Super Bowl when he joined the team in 2008 and winning the World Championship. Even Cena title match, and coming up short is a Rocky Balboa story. Sometimes it's more about the journey than the destiny. And as the Italian stallion himself might argue in 2021, or Randy Couture returning to the octagon behind all of this. And maybe it's a perfect way to round off hardcore fans alike have united in their elation of whenever Cena appears. When he came out on Raw's Netflix debut and mentioned, "Thank you, Cena. You deserve it." And he does deserve it. Maybe we're just being sentimental, and we know sentiment is the drive. The crowd didn't boo him or chant Cena sucks. Did his best and rose to the top of the entire industry through sheer will. The fans weren't really booing John Cena. They were booing the idea. Over the years, the boos have faded, and instead, casual audiences putting him up on a pedestal and claiming he's the guy. Sheer hard work and just being an all-around awesome person in and over, especially in the mid-2010s. But just like Roman Reigns, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks," following around the world, but eventually he supported. Come to think of it, these same people would not have much of a problem with John Cena either. The hardcore fans that hated John Cena so long ago, glad that he's finally won them over. They booed him out of buildings at this point. And maybe even Ric Flair doesn't have a problem with it. He's gone on the record, but that's another fantasy booking altogether. When all is said, I don't think many people would have a problem with John Cena breaking leaker and a lot nastier. Homelander Road, take the title back from Cena, and maybe even retire him in the make him go full Homelander Rhodes like the memes are claiming, and probably raise John Cena's hand after the bell in this, because they're memes and they're fantasy booking it in meme scenario. But even if it doesn't happen, that works out. Like Seth Rollins with the Authority in 2014, 2015, generation versus generation moment. But Cody is someone who's been in this business, live events, and it would be rewatched for decades, one way or another. We think the American Nightmare would handle the loss, the perfect catalyst for a full-blown Cody Rhodes heel briefly. It would make a great main event for any of WWE's poetic choice. A babyface versus babyface scenario is hard, but these are two characters with a lot of emotional investment on both sides. One huge achievement stepping aside for another. If anyone was to end Cody's reign as champion, Cena's historic world title reign, humbling him in defeat. With all the trouble he had finishing his story, and ending the championship, on the other hand, is something that Cena could potentially win, regaining that face place once again. Now that title, though, current face of the WWE, Cody Rhodes. A belt knows a thing or two about legacy and defining achievements is quite familiar with, given that he's won it 13 times. Cody is more tied to him as the face of WWE of those similar scenarios. Would it be a good idea to have the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion ever, who's dispatched Gunther, who has been almost unstoppable as a force on Monday? We're going to say no. It wouldn't be worth sacrificing the aura at the expense of everything that's been invested in Gunther over the recent years. Imposing figure in WWE, and that is indeed still Gunther. Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest, who are also all authentically confirmed. Would Cena toppling Gunther now only be just... It happened with the Great Khali. It happened with Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. It happened with Umaga in 2007, with Rusev in 2015, dominating their respective show, only to run into the Valiant John, which he has denied and is not anything that anyone can actually, big gripes, Cena wins, lol memes. Yes. Even the entire group of the Nexus, they were steamrolled by the Cena SummerSlam 2010. They were never the same after losing to Cena. Cena took the US Championship from him at WrestleMania 31 after he came out. Sort of seen this before, a monster heel with an impressive win in a program with the Ring General Gunther for the World Heavyweight Rumble before. He can do it again. He could also win the Elimination Chamber. As he mentioned in Raw in his Netflix promo, he would elevate both the championship and Gunther in the process, is the ride that we're on. But which title will he win to get to that title? And they're not going to be easy, but beside Vin Diesel or providing the voice of an animated bull, make millions and millions of dollars for the rest of his life, perhaps driving the end of it. One last piece of history made before he can ride off into the history of this business than John Cena. With the way WWE is, it wouldn't be out of place to have this be one of his career highlights. Holders should evolve too. Records are made to be broken after all. The WWE has evolved so much, especially in the recent years. Who would be more believable in that in the general overall and win the 17th World Championship of his career? There with all those names you could mention. He's a nice guy. He is a remarkable person. We all know about his amazing. Deserves to break the Nature Boy Ric Flair's record. Efforts which are record-breaking with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Yeah, he's a top bloke. So you could argue that he's one of the biggest stars in wrestling ever. For a decade, and sold more than enough t-shirts to clothe a medium. That's the one time we'll make that joke ever. He carrying with the naked eye. Maybe he should have played the Invisible Man. Popular enough to easily transition into success in acting films, even if he was in things like Ricky Stenicki and Daddy's Home. His movie star status is even more impressive when you consider that John faces watching this video. That's right, Sports Key to Wrestling. Cena was the face of WWE for most of this Martians, shaking their long tentacle-like alien hands. #1 wrestling YouTube channel on planet Mars. It's also such is the drawing power of John Cena. The attention of extraterrestrial life and bring them to Earth. Loudest noises ever recorded. A pop so loud out through outer space to the furthest corners of existence matter to a lot of people. It has the potential. And who's just jumping back into WWE's ring opera matters to the diehard fan, the casual fan. A big moment. No, this would be a nostalgia pop to end access to content through Netflix. It would nostalgia pops. It could be one of those world title wins. Just any nostalgia pop, not just a name we remember. Paved a traditional path of glory to other contests in the past. Yet it would deliver a nostalgia pop. Select in-ring performances could be hard to pull off. Yes, let's put that title on John Cena. It is true, putting either the World Heavyweight Championship on a 47-year-old John Cena, task that takes some time, that with Cena's assumed limitations, very role to him, with the always present naysayers online, pessimistic side of this argument. Now let's make the case for simply just too sentimental, right? That's the boring, logical, would adjust more than the attitude of the younger breakout talents and farewell tour he's on. Cena capturing a world champion, colossal colleagues who have risen in his absence. It would have them play to the Pontiac Silverdome, to towns now offering us financial incentives. Come across a little bit forced, or maybe overkill for WrestleMania. So maybe putting the title on him entertainment has raised the bar, and I'm humble enough to say that's because you're supposed to leave it better than you found it, supposed to advance it, and that's why you're supposed to go from Smokey Bingo Deliver, and that's really nice for here and there. That's not every day in WWE. That's not every day in sports entertainment. What you saw at WrestleMania 39. That's what I feel he could hang with the big dogs of the modern wrestling day. This was back in 2022. He said the following: "I'm at a point where everything..." Appearing on Busted Open on SiriusXM Radio, Cena laid out the real status in comparison to the bar that's been set. Boy, what I had consecutive and sporadic losses in big title match situations. But the days of big match Johnny may have appeared to pass him to reclaim the WWE US Championship from the McMillan-Austin Theory at WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles. Cena's character expressed the desire to be great once again, succumbing to the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, for the WWE Universal at that year's SummerSlam. His trail of fail would continue. Movie roles and his limited in-ring performances with WWE and the return of touring live events in 2021, utilized on television and non-televised live events in tag team matches, along with the pandemic caused even more delays. But when he roared back, but at this stage in his career, given all that he's done in the past, Saudi Arabia and the greatest Royal Rumble, obviously he's got since April of 2018 when he defeated Triple H. Cena has not seen a televised singles losing streak that he's been on now. Yes, he's still been on a losing Cena. He's like the Bugs Bunny, the Mickey Mouse of WWE. Instead of asking, "What's up, Doc?" he's asking, "Are you sure about that?" He's a Hulk Hogan for a whole new generation, a Stone Cold Steve Austin. Double digits. He had his own custom title. He main evented multiples and won most of them and left with a world championship. But you know this. We know this. By now, has already done as much as he can do with the WWE Championship. Styles, Mick Foley, Rey Mysterio, yeah, he beat like Wade Barrett, Sheamus, Triple H, R-Truth, some of them even multiple times. So I suppose you could argue everyone there is to beat in his time. His Edge, The Big Show, Great Khali, Batista, The Miz, Cena with the big gold belt, considering its lineage, because he spent so much time with the WWE Championship and it had a distinct WCW. Yes, I know, we're getting into belt lineage. World Heavyweight Championship a further 3 times, but it was all championship 13 times. He held the equivalent. Between 2005 and 2017, John Cena. From this point on, Cena was almost never out of the world title picture in WWE, and a constant main event fixture is what he would be for a long time. Ended up being a more valuable prize in wrestling for over 8 years. The spinner belt. I mean, the spinner belt was obviously supposed to be for the world the most divisive WWE Championship belt design of all time. The whole hip-hop thugonomics influence still at the time. Back in 2005 and WrestleMania 21 in Hollywood 17. Big Match John won his first WWE evil and rich Texan John Bradshaw Layfield it over for you. Should John Cena go from a Sweet 16 to break the world title record? You let us know. The time is for your comments. Yeah, it's a tough one, and aren't you lucky? We can see your comments in the chat, so let us know exactly what should happen with John Cena in his final year in the ring. Actually put one of their world titles on John Cena WrestleMania. But the whole thing got us thinking, should WWE? This is Sports Key to Wrestling, and unlike John, you get a miracle. You get the world title shot in the main event, grounding his C Nation followers in reality by saying, years since he won a singles match. So it's a miracle. But he's going to enter the Royal Rumble. And if you win the Royal Rumble, the Peacemaker talked about a record-breaking World Championship, noting that it would take a miracle and LA Knight as possible opponents on his last run. But during the Netflix premiere featured the 16-time World Champion, he talked about his last match, floated the names Drew McIntyre. Huge ovation to kick off his farewell tour in Los Angeles. One very important man. The farewell John Cena as an in-ring performer in WWE with generations of emotions built into it that many